Wildlife encounters have always been either very exciting or very gruesome. Even the animals, which are known to be silent and calm, can attack when provoked or when they are stressed. This is true for all animals, pets, or feral. But the wild ones tend to go to extreme lengths. One such story is that of a 49-year-old hiker, Richard White, who was fatally mauled by a bear. But before we get into all the gritty details, we would really like if you liked this video. Also, for more such videos, subscribe to our channel and do hit the bell icon to be notified every time there is a new video. A lone hiker in Alaska spent at least 8 minutes photographing a grizzly bear before it mauled him to death. On Saturday, the 49-year-old man's body and some of his things, including a camera, were found from the attack scene in Denali National Park. Park rangers were able to study images taken by the victim before his untimely demise. Denali Park Superintendent Paul Anderson described the photographs as showing the bear grazing in the willows, not behaving violent in any shape or fashion over that length of time. However, the photographs revealed that the victim, Richard White of San Diego, approached within 45 meters of the bear, far closer than the 400 meters authorized by park standards. The incident was initially reported to park officials on Friday afternoon after 3 hikers traveling along the Tolkat River discovered an abandoned rucksack and indications of a fight, including shredded clothes and blood. They returned and contacted park personnel. Rangers in a helicopter subsequently discovered a huge male grizzly bear resting on Mr. White's remains in the underbrush, around 100 meters from the assault location, which they dubbed a food cache. A state policeman shot and killed the bear, and the remains were recovered the next day. Investigators analyzed the bear's stomach contents, saw Mr. White's images, and performed other tests to determine that the animal was responsible for Mr. White's death. In the park's almost century-long history, this is the first reported fatal mauling. On August 24, 2012, Richard White, 49, was trekking along the Toklat River, the largest braided river that the Denali Park Road crosses. It wasn't Richard's first journey to Denali, and it certainly wasn't his first solo trekking excursion. Richard enjoyed nature and was always looking for ways to see and comprehend it as it was, apart from contemporary life and other people. He had a great appreciation for even the little things and was content with isolation, especially if it allowed him to pursue knowledge and calm himself. 3 hikers spotted an abandoned rucksack and traces of a battle, including shredded clothes and blood, along the Toklat River in Denali National Park on Friday. 2 hours later, park authorities performed an overhead search and discovered a huge male grizzly bear resting on the hiker's remains. They characterized the remains as a food stash uncovered 100 to 150 meters from the scene of the attack. The hiker was recognized as Richard White, 49, of San Diego, when his wallet was discovered nearby. It was the first fatal bear mauling reported in Denali's more than 90-year history. The bear was shot and killed by Alaska wildlife troopers on Saturday. Park authorities believe it was the perpetrator since White's clothes and other items tying it to him were discovered during an investigation of its stomach contents. Before we continue with this crazy event, I kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. We'll move on quickly. We know for certain the bear we killed murdered the hiker, Webster added. I'm certain no other bear is involved. Byron White, the backpacker's father, told a San Diego newspaper that Richard traveled whenever he could get away from work and had previously visited Denali. Byron White told the UT San Diego newspaper that he had worked as a pharmacology director for San Diego's Ferring Pharmaceuticals until last year and was in the process of transitioning to a new firm. He had a tremendous zeal for observing the wonders in the world and engaging with people from all over the world, stated Byron White. He also enjoyed hiking alone in these distant locations. He relished his time in the outdoors. According to the article, White was married with a small daughter. He said on the permission that he had more than 30 years of hiking expertise. He didn't have bear spray or a pistol, but he did have a whistle, according to Webster. Backcountry hikers are advised to carry bear spray, although it is not needed. White was hiking to a new camping area in the Denali wilderness on Friday afternoon. At 12:58 p.m., he began photographing a large male grizzly bear. Pfister specified Alaska time. The bulk of them were just typical photos of a bear foraging, Webster explained. Rangers estimated that the bear was just over 40 yards away when White began shooting photos with his zoom lens based on satellite footage. They haven't corroborated the distance yet with ground estimates, tracks, or other evidence from the area. Before obtaining his permission, White had to complete rigorous bear-aware training. Backcountry visitors are advised to keep at least a quarter-mile away from bears and to leave an area if they come across one. According to the projections, he was nearly 10 times closer than he should have been. He shot the first bears from a wide perspective. He then zoomed in. The last 5 or 6 shots, shot in 13 seconds, are a little different. The bear raises its head and turns away from the camera. The bear then turns to face the photographer. It begins to move in the direction of White. There were no shots that indicated a charge, Webster stated. However, the bear appeared disturbed in the final 2 images, which were taken shortly after 1:06 p.m. It possessed a clear, concentrated look. Park authorities are determining whether they can and should distribute the photographs to the public, according to Pfister. By 8:30 p.m. Friday, a helicopter had dropped rangers along the Braided River's bank, adjacent to a gravel bar. A bear dashed into the woods as the aircraft circled. Rangers discovered the body at a food cache site where the bear had buried it, according to Pfister. The bear began to circle the rangers. They fired 2 rifle bullets but were unsuccessful. The situation had gotten too perilous, Pfister added, with dusk approaching and the bear defending its horde. The rangers were able to board the chopper again and fly away for the night. They returned with wildlife troops on Saturday afternoon, according to Pfister. According to Webster, a trooper shot and killed the bear from the aircraft. Webster, it's unclear whether there were 1 or 2 bears in the area on Friday evening. They observed 4 bears in the area several kilometers around the corpse on Saturday, but just one, the buried body, was sitting on its stockpile. According to Pfister, the bear had dined on the hiker. The bear was believed to weigh 600 pounds, which is large for Denali. It was a mature bear, perhaps around 5 years old. Rangers have found no indication that any additional bears attempted to feast on the hiker. As a precaution, rangers have restricted a 125 square mile area around the murder site. They'll keep an eye on the region for a few days to make sure no additional bears are acting strangely. For today, we'll leave it at that. Are you curious about more videos like this and are curious what's to come? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance.